Today is a special day, and so a special story from the Puranas. We are the inhabitants of the earth. We live amidst animals, birds, insects, trees, flowers, and forests. Water, light, and wind also exist in the world, and so do land and sky. We wonder how all this came into existence, isn't it? Science says thousands of years ago, amoeba, a monocellular creature, came into existence in water. Gradually, it developed into a bicellular, tricellular, and quadricellular creature. Then other creatures came into existence in course of time, and the world was populated by animals, birds, men, and a variety of other living beings. The scriptures also are full of such information. One such ancient scripture is the Vedas. And what has that got to do with today's story? It is said that during the Satya Yuga, the people on earth had become irreligious and disorderly in the way they lived their lives. This is when the gods collectively decided to flood the earth and prepare it for a process of renovation. Lord Brahma, the creator, had been given guidelines to remodel the earth by Lord Vishnu. These guidelines were the Vedas, the four principal books of Hinduism. Lord Brahma decided to rest before this grand task of remodeling the earth. And as he was quite tired and as he was resting, in came a horse-headed demon named Hayagriva. He came out of Brahma's nose and stole the Vedas from right under his nose. And then Hayagriva went and hid himself deep in the oceans of the earth. Vishnu, meanwhile, was on his guards to protect the Vedas, for he knew if the Vedas were destroyed, knowledge would be destroyed and there would be complete darkness. If Hayagriva got the chance, he would kidnap them, he knew. Vishnu lived at a little distance from Brahma, and he was so vigilant that when he suddenly saw Hayagriva with the Vedas, soon he was on his legs to save the Vedas. And at this time, he saw that King Satyavrata, who had stayed at the ashrama of a sage, was standing on the bank of the river and was worshipping the sun god. Vishnu sought his help, saying, "I'll help you by becoming a fish if you help me in my mission of saving knowledge." Satyavrata agreed to help him, and in turn, Vishnu assumed the form of a fish. Then Satyavrata entered into the river and filled the hollow of his palms with water. And lo, he saw a fine fish in it. The fish was frightened and seemed to be trembling. He thought, "Does it really fear me? Shall I put it back in the river?" The fish said, "O noble soul, if you throw me into the water, the crocodile might swallow me up. I have come to you for shelter. Will you disown me like that?" Satyavrata filled his gourd with water and put the fish in it. The king was surprised to see that the fish grew to the size of the gourd during the night, and the gourd could not hold it any longer. He took the fish from the gourd and put it in a pond. But soon the fish grew up to the size of a pond. The fish grew up to equal size of the place wherever it was thrown. And the king was puzzled. At last he thought of throwing it into the ocean. The fish requested the king, "Kindly do not throw me into the ocean, or the bigger creatures will devour me. If you protect me, I'll not forget your gratefulness." The king protected the fish, and the fish said, "I must reciprocate your kindness. Look, there will be total destruction on this planet on the seventh day. Hence, everything will be drowned into water. But I'll save you by sending a boat across the rising waves of the ocean. You may travel safely in the boat along with your Saptarishi, along with the 7 rishis, the seeds, plants, animals, and all your belongings. When the waves try to swallow the boat, I'll come to you with Vasuki cobra, which you can use as a rope to tie your boat with my horns." The fish then disappeared. On the seventh day, the waves of the ocean began to rise up to the sky and sweep away everything on earth. Satyavrata was, however, ready with his belongings, and he got into the boat safely with them. He saw the fish at a distance. The demon Hayagriva was also seen in front of the fish. In fact, he had hidden himself into the ocean, but the fish had pursued and captured him. A fierce battle ensued between the two, in which Hayagriva was killed. The Vedas were brought out of his stomach. The fish then moved swiftly towards the boat. Satyavrata instantly tied his boat to the horns of the fish. Now the boat began to float over the waves safely. When the storm was over, the boat came to the shore. Landing the king safely over the shore, the fish said, "You know, I am not an ordinary fish. I am Vishnu myself. I have assumed this form to protect the Vedas. I am taking the Vedas to Brahma and entrust you with these seeds, creatures, and other things out of which you may recreate the world." Saying this, the fish disappeared. Satyavrata created the new world and became known as Manu. Lord Vishnu then brought back the Vedas and returned it to Lord Brahma. And this entire incident happened on the first day of Chaitra month. Lord Brahma got the Vedas back and created the universe on this date. According to the beliefs of Hindus, on this day, he created the entire universe, and our 1 year on earth is equal to 1 day for Lord Brahma. Therefore, when we begin the auspicious year of a new year, and then Lord Brahma starts a new day, it is therefore said that Yugadi is celebrated in commemorating the beginning of creation, when the earth and the life forms on it started emerging. What a wonderful story, isn't it? A story of Lord Vishnu's Matsyavatara and the story behind the celebration of Yugadi. Here's wishing all of you a very happy, a very prosperous, healthy, and successful year ahead. Thanks for listening. This is Seema signing off. Namaskar.